This is about to be the tastiest stir fry you ever made. So you have to make sure you try this recipe and thank me later. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be making an easy but yet delicious beef and vegetable stir fry. So to make our stir fry, we are going to be needing some broccoli. This is about a head of broccoli that I chopped up, and I have a couple pieces of cauliflower in there as well. And you are going to be needing about 3 to 4 radishes that I sliced up, and I sliced up about 2 to 3 small carrots, and you can see this is the shape I cut them. You can cut them into the circle shape, whatever your heart desire. And I have a can of water chestnuts that I'll be using, and this is about 8 cremini mushrooms. And I have some colorful bell peppers here. I have some red and yellow bell peppers, and I am using some sugar snap peas. And this is what the snap peas, the bag that it came in. I'm using more than half of that bag, okay? And you are going to be needing 1 lemon or lime, or you can use lemon if you have to. And I have about 1 teaspoon of crushed garlic. And if you wish, you don't have to. If you want, you can use the packet seasoning mix for the broccoli and beef, but it's totally up to you. I only have these around if I'm having a lazy day. That's when I use these, okay? And you are going to be needing some olive oil, some onion powder, some garlic powder, and some cornstarch. And you are going to be needing some soy sauce. And I have black sesame seeds, but you can use the regular sesame. And I have some oyster sauce. You don't have to use that. And I have some sesame seed oil. And I have this hoisin sauce. And for the beef, we are using a top round steak, okay, boneless. So I'm going to obviously cut that up, and of course you need some salt and pepper to taste, okay? So please don't forget to check the description box where I will list everything I use in this video. So let's get cooking, guys. All right, so first thing we are going to do is cut that lime. And you guys know, as a Haitian, I just have to do that. I say this in all my videos, just to clean my beef and enhance some flavor in it anyways when we are going to cook it. So I'm going to take that lime and rub it all over that beef, just like that. I'm only going to use half. And then I'm going to rinse it under some hot or warm water before we start cutting it. So I'm going to head over to my sink and rinse it. Then when I come back, we can start cutting it. Now you are going to want to cut or trim off the fat on your meat. You can use a kitchen scissor, which I just switched to, and just trim all the fat off. We don't want no fat whatsoever. Just like that. Sometimes it can be tricky, but take your time. There's no rush, even though this is a really super quick recipe. The longest part of this recipe is marinating the meat. I'm going to try to just cut this off and then just kind of dance around the side to take the meat out. But I am going to just do this, and then I can take my time to take the meat out. So now when you're cutting that beef, you want to go against the grain. As you can see, the grain is going this way. So I am going to turn it and go that way, okay? And you want to make small slices. That way it does not take long to cook at all. Even though I did just rinse it, I am going to put it in another bowl and just rinse it one more time before I start seasoning. Even though I know my cutting board is really clean, but you know, we just have to be super careful when we are dealing with food that is going into our stomachs. This knife is good, but sometimes it acts up. And I don't want super long You can see. So if it gets to be super long, you can cut it to half. Just like that. If it's your first time to this channel, welcome to the channel. Don't forget to hit that. Oh, I had to watch my fingers here. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can get notified every time I upload. Of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We would appreciate that. Again, thank you. So I'm going to continue to do this, and then when I come back, we can start seasoning our meat. Now we are going to add about a teaspoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of garlic powder. Set these to the side. And we are going to be adding 1 tablespoon of that cornstarch. Actually, we'll do 1 tablespoon of the cornstarch. And I did not use all of the beef because it was just too much beef. And we are going to be using 1 tablespoon of that soy sauce, just to marinate our beef. And I am using about half a teaspoon of that sesame oil, just to put some flavor of that sesame oil to my beef. And just mix everything together. And now you are going to put this in the fridge and let it marinate for about 30 minutes or more. You can add a little bit of salt if you wish. I am going to add some black pepper, which I almost forgot. But I don't like to add salt because the soy sauce and all the other stuff have sodium in it. So I don't want it to be too salty, okay? But that's totally up to you. I wouldn't recommend it though. So place it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. You're going to want to turn your stove on to medium high. I am using an iron skillet for this part of the cooking just because I don't want my wok to have a burnt bottom. So I already went ahead and put 1.5 teaspoons of olive oil. I actually thought I was recording when I was pouring the oil, but I was not. And you want it to be nice and hot. And now we are going to brown the meat. Just kind of put them down without them being on top of each other. If you have to cook in batches, that's fine. I probably will have to as well. But I want a nice crispiness to them. So once you lay them down, do not touch them until the bottom have a nice golden brown color to it. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for you to move them anyways. But once they are nice and crispy on the bottom, it shouldn't be hard to turn them. So I'm leaving about this much, and then I'll work into batches. As you can see, some of them are starting to have a nice color. So now I am going to turn them. And they will get cooked very quickly because it's a really thin slice of meat. That's why it was important that we slice them very thinly. This is such a delicious recipe, you guys. I can't wait for you guys to try it. And we don't have to blanch the vegetables because I like the crispiness of the vegetables in this recipe. Again, leave this side alone as well. Let it cook. That way it's just so much easier to flip. I'm going to let it cook for another few minutes. Then I'm going to take them out and add the remaining of the beef. While we're waiting on our beef, we are going to be making that thickening sauce. Again, if you don't want to make this sauce, this is where you can use that packet. Just add water to that packet, and that should give you what I'm making. Obviously, it have other ingredients in it as well, but this one is what we're making ourselves. So you need 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and I am going to be using another tablespoon of soy sauce. And I am going to be using a tablespoon of the hoisin sauce. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I'm sure some of you will correct me. Just make sure you get everything in there. And 1 tablespoon of this sauce as well, the oyster sauce. Like I said, I hope I'm pronouncing some of these correctly. And then 1/4 cup of water, cold water. And you are going to mix everything together. And just set that to the side. I still have my stove on medium high, and now I'm using a wok. So you are going to add a little bit of olive oil, not much, about half a teaspoon, and a little bit of that sesame oil as well, just because we want that nice flavor. And if your wok is getting too hot, just like mine is, go ahead and turn it down. We want it hot, but we don't want it to burn our stir fry. I went ahead and add that garlic and stir really quick. And to that garlic, I'm going to add the peppers. I don't want anything to burn. And to that, I'm going to add the onions, or not onions, the carrots. And I'm going to add the mushroom as well. And you have to constantly stir that so nothing is burning, okay? If you want, you can grate some ginger, or julienne the ginger if you want, but I just did not want any ginger in this recipe, but you can definitely add some. So I'm going to just keep stirring this for a few minutes, and then we can come back and add the rest of the veggies. So now I'm going to add the rest. But you don't want to add the broccoli yet. And do the same thing, just keep stir frying them for a good 2 minutes, but do not stop flipping them. And now go ahead and add your meat. And now this should bring a little bit of moisture to the bottom of the pan. But just keep turning again so your pan is not burning. And if you don't have a wok, you can use a big frying pan for doing this. So I'm going to cook this for another 2 minutes before I add any of that liquid. Now I'm going to add just a little bit of that liquid, just like that, and mix everything together. Again, my vegetables will be nice and crispy. I don't like soggy veggies in my stir fry. And now I can add that broccoli. And mix everything together. Stir it for another 2 to 3 minutes before we add the rest of that sauce. Now you want to go ahead and add the sauce. Remember that that cornstarch is going to make it really thick. And let that heat through. I put a lot of liquid. It's not really a lot, but I put that much because I want a little soup, a little gravy, not soup, when I eat it with my rice. Okay, just keep flipping everything and taste. Salt should be good because of that soy sauce. Oh yeah. Oh yes. If you haven't followed us on Instagram, please go ahead and do so, and the rest of our social medias. I will leave all links down in the description box. I had made this recipe and posted on my Instagram, and so many of you guys sent me DMs wanting the recipe, even on my Snapchat. So here's the recipe. And I've been kind of slacking in that Creole channel. If you haven't followed me on the Creole channel, the link for the channel is in the description box as well. My kids have been homeschooling and now they went back to school full time. So that creates a little bit of time for me. Hopefully I can get myself back into making more videos. So I apologize. So I'm going to let this cook for a good 5 minutes or so. Make sure you keep stirring it so nothing is burning. Okay. Then I'll get my rice ready. I'm just eating this on plain white rice. But just make sure everything is coated with that sauce. I'm telling you guys, this looks simple, but it tastes so good. The vegetables are still crispy even though it's cooking for a few minutes. It's so good. It smells so good. Again, I'm going to let this cook for a couple minutes. So just like that, our stir fry is done. I have a bowl that have some white rice. You can use quinoa if you are trying to stay away from rice. So I am going to take some of that stir fry. I want lots of broccoli. I want a little bit of everything. Oh, that looks so good, you guys. You have to try this recipe. Try it this exact way. And I promise you guys, you will not regret it. So I'm going to take a little bit of that black sesame and just put over it. Look at that. You can tell me that don't look good. Look at that. Again, I like that little gravy because I like adding a little gravy to mine. That's why I added more water. Let me go ahead and taste some of this real quick before I take my pictures. Hold on, give me a second. The crispiness of the vegetables is definitely what does it for me. But make sure you guys try this recipe. Let me know down below if you tried it, how you liked it. But this will do it for this video, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, like, and share. As always, thank you so much for watching. I love you for watching. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can get notified for every time I upload. And continue to stay safe. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye-bye.